Why, hello there, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to the Tarot Nook with Jay. I am currently doing a reading on Tuesday instead of Wednesday because today was a very, very powerful day. A very, 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 very powerful day that only is really it's going to happen like 100 years after, like from now, right? So from today, we had a total lunar eclipse that happened to be a blood moon, right? It was a full moon. And at that, it was on March 3rd, 3/3, right? Now, if you're on the East Coast, ultimately, it was at 6:33 a.m. But if you are on the West Coast, it was at 3:33 a.m. All right. 3/3, March 3rd, 3:33. All right. All of this being said, with all of these threes, right? Uh, it was a blood moon. It was a complete solar eclipse in Virgo, all right, which is a phenomenal, phenomenal energy to be in when we are ultimately in eclipse season. So, not eclipse season, but this, you know what I mean, an eclipse. Overall, eclipses are all like about letting go, letting go of any kind of energies that have expired, like any kind of energies that have been doing so well, and you ultimately have spotted those energies that have making you feel like, tired or exhausted. Eclipse ultimately goes ahead and just swipes it away. And sometimes that kind of feeling may be disorienting because when you're so used to living with a specific energy for so long, it's like almost becomes a part of your everyday life. But when the milk expires, do you keep in a carton of expired milk in your refrigerator? No. When specific cycles and when specific, chapters ultimately end, they're not meant to stay. Ultimately, it's meant to out with the old and in with the new kind of energy, right? 3 is all about really ultimately, equilibrium, finding balance, mind, body, and spirit, past, present, and future, right? Being able to find the balance and the just energy that will ultimately have you open up to all of these greater energies that are rightfully yours. You know what I mean? And I feel as if with all of these threes, it was massively amplified. It was massively amplified today. All right. Now, overall, we are also in Mercury retrograde, right? And Mercury retrograde, communication may be a little off, but ultimately what made it so powerful is we are in Virgo. The moon was in Virgo today. Virgos, if we all know Virgo, they're very stable. They're very structured. They like things from A to Z in a specific way, right? That's the kind of energy that we need going into a complete lunar eclipse while in Mercury retrograde, because we have the stability there to ultimately see, okay, what we're purging right now is meant to be purged. What we are bringing in right now is meant to ultimately be accepted. You know what I mean? And with that structure and with that order and with that stability comes so much power. Threes are a very big number for manifestation. It really is. Like, I mean, if you're looking to put your dreams into action, if you're looking to bring your dreams into full fruition, it's a kind of situation, like 3 is the number you look for. All right. Now, once again, I'm going to say it. All of this happened. The blood moon, first of all, I think is only going to happen twice this year. This is one of the only times that ultimately it's going to come through in 2026. But and it sucks because on the East Coast, you couldn't see nothing. It was cloudy. You couldn't see nothing at all. But, the energy is still very vibrant, very potent, So it's a kind of situation, my friends. The energy that we are in today is unlike really, it's once in a lifetime. All right. That's why, like, if you felt like, that, just empowerment, that drive to ultimately overcome the things that have been in our lives that no longer have a place. I mean, that's why you felt it so strongly today. Like, this is energy that we will see 100 years from now. We're not going to be alive then. You know, unless there's some miracle potion that ultimately, halts time. You know what I mean? Overall, it's the kind of energy, my friends, like, this really was today the beginning of something new. It really was the beginning to something new because we're ready for it. You know, it's like when you manifest a new job, when you manifest a new apartment, when you manifest a new connection, when you manifest a new pet, like, ultimately it's all about stepping into that new, and I feel as if, like, today we knew we were ready for that new, and once again, with this eclipse, I cannot say it anymore. It's a total lunar eclipse in a full moon. Full moons are already all about completions of a cycle. All right, pretty much that said, all right, it's complete, finito, over with. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, and it's a kind of situation I just feel as if a lot of us just swept a lot of things away. A lot of things away that were ultimately holding us back, which is why I was going through all my crystals, right? And the crystal that I picked in regards to this energy, all right, is indeed strawberry quartz, okay? Strawberry quartz is one of my favorite quartz. One of my favorite quartz, all right? Strawberry quartz is known as the crystal. Well, first off, quartz amplifies energy, right? So it's a master amplifier. Strawberry quartz is known as the amplifier of love, the amplifier of emotional fulfillment, the amplifier of self-empowerment, self-love. It's the kind of situation, like, with this cleansing, with this cleansing of our minds, our bodies, and our spirits, all right? One thing we're walking away with is the love, the deep love that we have for ourselves, and the excitement in regards to exactly what's to come. Therefore, quartz is like it's a master amplifier. It's like a magnet. You use quartz when you're looking to manifest something, and bam, it's there. Strawberry quartz is a fairly common crystal. All right, you could find a lot of strawberry quartz for cheap prices on Etsy, if you like Etsy. You could also go to any crystal shop, and I'm sure they'll have strawberry quartz. It's such a pretty crystal. Like, I absolutely love it. It's always been one of my favorites. Like, I'm just obsessed. And this is like the size of like bigger than like a billiards ball, I'm tossing it back and forth, and I guarantee I'm going to fuck something up, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this back before I destroy something, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, let's do some tarot. Overall, the energy that we're in right now is new. It's new energy, all right? And overall, we have the drive and the power and the wisdom to ultimately, take action on the things that we know we need to take action on. Either that, listen, those that are in high school, I'm hearing, get ready for those final exams coming up. All right. If you're a sophomore, if you're a junior, I don't know why I'm thinking high school. Now is the time to buckle down so you can get into the school that you want to go to. If you are ultimately working a job that you're not happy in at all, now is the time to get on Indeed or Monster.com or ZipRecruiter.com or whatever floats your boat. Maybe not so much Craigslist. Sometimes Craigslist, something can come along. But it's a kind of situation Spirit wants you to take action. All right? It's all about bringing in our true selves in the most amazing, joyful way possible. Right? We have this one life to live. Oh my God. So I'm using a bigger table than I usually am, and I'm actually using a deck of bigger cards, which I absolutely love, all right? So at the bottom of the deck, I'm just going to ahead and point this out. There's the 10 of Pentacles, okay? the completion of a cycle and the acceptance of something new. All right. The completion of a cycle, 10 is the number of completion, right? Right now we are in the year of the 10. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6 is 10. And the 10 of Pentacles is that complete fairy tale ending of money, of love, of pets, of a 401k, a retirement plan. I mean, a spot on the like a spot in the finest retirement facility, whatever the case may be. That's the 10 of Pentacles. The best of the best lies in that 10 of Pentacles, okay? So that really is ultimately, I feel as if the energy that's behind this, it's a massive energy, okay? Now, the first card that came up is the King of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the World. It's a completion of a cycle where taking apart a fence is, it's like we're thinking that we've been taking apart a fence, but Spirit is ultimately saying, like, it has come to an end. The fence has been taken apart. The King of Cups is there. The King of Cups is that king that ultimately only commands in emotional fulfillment. The King of Cups is the king that takes action based upon what he knows will bring him that creativity, what he knows that will bring on that strong form of intuition, and what he knows will bring on the right kind of love. The right kind of love from your family, the right kind of love for your friends, the right kind of love from partners, the right kind, like love is such a universal term, and I feel as if it's the kind of situation with the world, things are coming to it's a completion. All right. Then right after the World comes card number 0, which is the Fool, so I feel as if right now, we've been thinking for a long time that we've been taking down fences, but I feel as if Spirit is really saying right now, you have found the love within yourself to ultimately rise above and realize that that chapter of taking down a fence or a wall is it's a thing of the past, with this came popping out. The 6 of Pentacles, all right, along with the 7 of Pentacles, along with the 9 of Pentacles. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. I love that. First off, the 6 of Pentacles is ultimately all about giving, and receiving. It's like a two-way kind of abundance, right? You do good, you receive good. You do bad, you do bad onto others, bad is returned to you, It's a kind of situation. The 6 of Pentacles is having done something good, being a good person, putting out all the positive energy in the world to make a difference, like ultimately, like the universe handed you a seed, right? And we received that seed. What are we going to do with this seed? How are we going to have it grow? We found some fresh soil. We planted it. We water. We're like, all right, here's nothing. Here's to hoping I'm not going to grow a weed. Here's to hoping I'm going to grow a cherry tree. Whatever. The 7 of Pentacles is seeing that growth coming from that seed. So you planted an idea. Like, I feel as if we all planted an idea in regards to exactly what we want out of our lives. And now that seed is ultimately breaking open just a little bit, and there's a little sprout growing from it. All right. And we're seeing that sprout is what is going to bring us all of the prosperity in the world. Because the 9 of Pentacles is that card of, just like, having worked your butt off, having watered that seed, having, feeding it whatever you need to feed it. I don't know. I'm not a gardener. I mean, like, I'm really not. A fertilizer, Miracle-Gro. I don't know. Whatever you need to feed a plant for it to grow. Overall, like the 9 of Pentacles is that plant grown into that giant abundant tree. And what was at the bottom of the deck before? The 10 of Pentacles. Okay. So this is Spirit saying that you've been doing work on yourself, that you've been sacrificing, that you've been ultimately doing a lot, you've just been growing and growing and growing, growing, growing. And I feel as if like we finally found what will truly get us to exactly where we are meant to be. We are finally starting to see clearly, like in regards to this is what I want. Ta-da! Ta-da! I mean, for a lot of us, a lot of us, like, we're asked, do you know what you want? I want world peace. No, it's a kind of situation like really thinking, what do you want? Do you like what do you want out of your life? Like, how do you want to feel when you're on your bed about to transition into a new sphere of consciousness? Like, it's a kind of situation I feel as if we're discovering that. We're discovering the kind of energy we want in our lives. We're discovering the kind of, the kind of energy that will bring us that ultimate emotional fulfillment, which is the energy worth living for. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm telling you, it's like with the 6 of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles, that is so powerful because it all started from this one little idea. And from that one little idea, it's growing into something huge and something bigger than we can have ever thought can happen. And why is this happening, my friends? Why? Because we have moments like today with that total lunar eclipse, right? On March 3rd in the West Coast at 3:33, finding equilibrium and balance in past, present, and future. Being able to find balance and stability within our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. You know what I mean? Like, that's why all this is happening. Because we've allowed ourselves to heal. We've allowed ourselves to see, all right, this is what needs to be done to get me to where I need to be. And we allowed ourselves to do so. All of us have our own journey. Lord knows I have my journey, all right? And that journey was not an easy journey to be on, yet somehow here I am. It's a kind of situation like we are the King of Cups. We have so much love in our lives, and because we know that, love is radiating back to us, okay? With the 4 of Wands, with the 6 of Swords, and the 7 of Cups. So I feel as if ultimately, like we felt as if like maybe a little like, I don't even want to say so much confusion. I feel as if we saw that there were so many options for us to take. All right. There were so many opportunities for us to ultimately own, right? The 6 of Swords is ultimate. And along with the 7 of Cups comes a little bit of confusion, because when you have so many when you have so many options, you're like, I don't fucking know. Like, what am I supposed to pick? But with the 6 of Swords, that is ultimately energy of getting out of your head and choosing the option that you're meant to choose. It's like 6 of Swords is all about getting out of the conflict, getting out of the feeling of loss, the feeling of heartache, the feeling of confusion, whatever the case may be, right? And the 6 of Swords is there saying, I have survived the storm. I have survived the heartbreak. I have woken up on the other side. I'm not feeling so conflicted where I don't know if I need to be in this moment of confusion or walk away. It's just that feeling of like, being in your head, like Swords. That's the thinking, like the thinking monster, the overthinking monster. That's what's in Swords overall. But the 6 of Swords is ultimately saying, you know what? There has been a storm, but cowabunga, dude, surf's up. Like that's the kind of energy. Like I feel as if we got real, we looked at the bigger picture, and we have made a decision. And that decision is bring on the 4 of Wands. And the 4 of Wands is such a beautiful, one of my favorite cards of the entire tarot deck. Because the 4 of Wands is the card of a celebration that the universe is throwing us in our favor because we've been able to find stability. All right. On the typical Rider-Waite deck, it shows a couple underneath a tent. They could be getting married. They could be partying it up, whatever the case may be. Like it shows like emotional fulfillment underneath this tent that we built for ourselves. Okay. Each wand ultimately like resemble it's like the four elements, right? Air, water, fire, and earth. All right. Air is all about the thinking. Okay. Water is all about the feeling. Fire is all about the drive. And earth is all about feeling stable, which is why I said before that with all of this eclipse energy, my friends, the fact that we're in Virgo right now is a blessing. Okay. That's a complete blessing. We are feeling stable. We are feeling structured. Abnormally, we're like, whoa, I got this. I didn't think I could surf, but guess what? I'm riding those waves. It's like I feel as if like this has to do with us surprising ourselves, and with the Four of Wands is such a happy way to surprise yourself. It really is. Like the Four of Wands is such a happy card full of laughter and joy and all of the above. All right, my friends. Yeah, see, there's the Fool. We got the World and we got the Fool. With an ending comes a new beginning. All right. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's perfect. Spirit. You can't make it up, With the Nine of Swords along with the Queen of Wands. That's very powerful because the Nine of Swords to me is all about transitioning. Okay. You've gotten yourself to a point where, all right, here we go, with the Nine of Swords is all about allowing yourself to feel the emotions, feel all the emotions that you've ultimately, brought up to the surface and getting that loud scream out. It's like all of this, it's like you didn't know what to do. All of a sudden, it's like you're transitioning from a feeling like a victim to feeling to feel as if you're the victor, not the victim, the victor. It's like Nine of Swords energy is like you're climbing up a mountain and you finally get to the top of the mountain and all you can do is just scream at the top of your lungs knowing that you succeeded. All right, it's a transition in regards to realizing that the past is the past. And the past may hurt, but it's in that hurt that we learned something new about ourselves. It's in that hurt that we learned how beautiful and powerful and strong we really are. For a lot of us, for the longest time, we really underestimated our power. We had no idea how powerful we were. Really, that's the journey. That's the journey of life, we underestimate ourselves until we're put in a moment where we have to ultimately realize, wow, I am that shit. All of a sudden, ding, it all makes sense now. I'm awesome. It's the kind of situation the Queen of Wands gives off that awesome energy. Okay. The Queen of Wands is a queen that gives birth to activity. She's that queen that ultimately you put in a pitch black room and bam, it's all lit up. Like even like the corners you could see perfectly clear. It's like the Queen of Wands gives birth to fire, gives birth to passion, gives birth to drive. If you need to take action on something, the Queen of Wands is that good omen. Okay. The Queen of Wands is like, all right, you need it. Here you go. I'm giving birth to it. Here's that baby. Run with it, and that's the kind of energy that we have in this new beginning, the Fool. This is a new beginning where we are letting go of the things that have held us back and we are claiming our victory, knowing that we are capable of anything that we put our minds to. It's in this new beginning that new beginnings are a little scary. They are. New beginnings are scary, but they're scary because ultimately that means something is there. Something magical is there, or else you wouldn't be afraid. So it's the kind of situation overall. We have come to a completion of a cycle where that wall that we've been thinking we've been taking down forever has officially been taken down. We have all the love for ourselves to ultimately whoop ass. You know, I'm sorry I keep on cursing, but it's the kind of situation, like it's just coming out. I'm channeling, and I guess, you know, spirit wants me to have a potty mouth tonight. I don't know. All I know is like, this is what growth looks like. Having planted that seed, that one thought that we thought walking down the road, wouldn't it be nice? You know, something that we didn't think was massive turns out to be the biggest thing in our lives. Really, truly. And that little seed grew into a beanstalk. All right. And that beanstalk is leading us to that 10 of Pentacles that was originally there at the bottom of the deck. Let's see if it comes up again. I went ahead and I shuffled it again. Let's see if it comes in. If it does. And the Tower. I love that. Oh, I love that so much. With the Page of Wands and the Moon in reverse. I love that. I love that. I love that. Can I tell you why I love that? Okay. Towers are sudden change. Okay. Towers are sudden change. It's like pretty much like, you know, like you have a building, right? You have a tower, and that tower is hundreds of years old, and it's the foundation's crumbling slowly but surely. And there's nothing but vermin in there, and there's nothing but everything that is disgusting that you do not want in your life is in this tower. But you don't get rid of the tower for some reason. It's just there. It's blocking this giant metropolis that you've built for yourself, this beautiful, beautiful, clean energy city, you know, with that one crappy tower that's going to devalue the property. If Spirit was like, if you're not going to get rid of it, I will. Okay. Enough is enough. I'm over it. I'm doing it for you. And then we're like, what happened? And then plop. And then there is an empty space, you know, rubble. We pick up after the rubble and we build something beautiful. You know, the Tower in reverse, the Tower upright is a sudden change that takes you by surprise. But the Tower in reverse is ultimately us making the decision to take that dynamite stick and throw it at the tower for it to crumble. It's in our control. There was something in our lives that ultimately we took control of, where we realized that there was something in our lives that was there, but wasn't meant to be there, you know? For myself, I could honestly say that has to do with my old job, you know? I mean, overall, I mean, like I was a hairstylist for a very long, not a very long time, but I was a hairstylist for about 4 years, right? And I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy doing it. I went to school for it. I have my license. I still do have my license. I have to pay to renew the license, but overall, I still have it, you know, but it just didn't make me happy. So what did I do? I went off and I started working once again with kids on the autism spectrum. And from there, you know, like it's history, you know, it's like sometimes it's all about taking action on something that needs to be acted upon. You know, now with the Page of Wands and the Moon in reverse, the Moon in reverse tells me that right now with the eclipse, you know, also Mercury being in retrograde, right? The wavelengths, first off, I mean, massive awakenings with the eclipse, right? Spiritual awakenings to the 10th power. There ain't no going back. All right. It's just not. When it comes to the energy of the moon is all about lifting the veil and seeing what the truth is underneath, right? Like seeing what the truth is underneath that veil. The moon is all about ultimately, like, you know, bringing on those psychic abilities, you know, bringing in those psychic abilities, bringing in that intuition that has ultimately come forward really from this explosion of an astrological event. Like really, like this has been one heck of an event. Like really, really, it really has, because it's never going to happen again within our lifetimes. Maybe if you have children, your children's children, they might be able to see it, or maybe even your child. Who knows? All I know, our lifetimes, we're never going to see this again. This was a once in a lifetime energy. All right. I feel as if like the hesitation of going in on this energy is ultimately non-existent anymore. It's like the fear of looking and peeking what's underneath the veil. Like what lies underneath this veil? What is ultimately there? I just want to look, just a little peek, just peeking underneath a little bit. I feel as if we're like, all right, I'm not waiting any longer. Bam, there it is. Like that's the kind of energy. It's all about taking control. It's like we've taken control on our lives where we allowed ourselves to awaken to a higher power. If you're spiritual, you best believe that today we ultimately received a deeper spiritual gift. If you don't know what that is, well, honestly, I feel as if like Spirit is ultimately, I'm seeing 6. I'm seeing 6. All right, by June. By June, okay? March, April, May, June. So 3 months from now. There's 3. There's a number 3. You can't make it up. All right, 6. All right, June, we're going to be ultimately seeing, exactly what this gift is. And I think this gift is going to be a beautiful, beautiful gift to ultimately do this world good, But with the Page of Wands, it's like all of a sudden we're learning to work with this gift. You know what I mean? It's like I feel as if it's like we've received something, and maybe not knowingly, but my friends, it's like it's subconsciously we received a gift today, and now we're learning how to work with this gift that we don't know we have yet. If that makes sense, if that makes any sense at all. All right. It's like that. It's like like what I'm seeing is like, like what? Throwing a surprise party for somebody. All right. You may not know people are ultimately planning this big surprise party for you, but it's happening in the works. All right. This is spirit. This is your ancestors. These are your spirit guides. This is your spirit team. They're getting you ready for what's to come in June. Okay. So get ready. Get ready. June 7th or June 17th. I'm hearing June 7th or June 17th. Spirit. June 17th. Okay? June 17th. Write that down in calendars. I wonder exactly what's coming forward because it's going to be something beautiful. Really. It's going to be something really, really, really beautiful. Okay? So let me go ahead. I'm going to pull some oracle from cards that I have not been pulling from in a very long time. Let's see what we have here. What do we got up in here? Hold on. I have I never do any readings from behind. I haven't done a reading from behind here in like over a year. Over a year it's been. So you know what? Let's go ahead with the mermaid deck. All right. I have not worked with the mermaid deck yet. So, no, not yet. I have. But the reason why I haven't is because these cards are so huge. Like, to shuffle them is crazy, but they are very pretty. So, the mermaids, give us a message. Give us a message. What do we need to know for our greatest good, mermaids? Let's see what we got here. Atlantis. Rapid development. What? Rapid development. Excellence. Success. 4 of Wands. The Tower in reverse. All right. Atlantis. Like I'm telling you, my friends, it's like you. I'm telling you, rapid development. The return of Aphrodite, the birth of a goddess. This is the birth of a new you. Like I'm telling you, like this, like temple, treating as sacred, guidance, goddess energy. All right. The return of Aphrodite. It's like rapid development. And ultimately, it's like all of a sudden you're realizing that you're not the same person you were. Really. Last week, you thought you were one way, like this energy is making you realize you are not the same person you were. You are not. You are not. All of a sudden, we caught up with spirit. All right. With wave of power, surge of power, upswing in energy, accelerating movement. All right. No, know that, this surge of power and this upswing in energy. All right. This is what our dreams are made of. This is how we manifest our dreams. Accelerating movement and upswing in energy, like this new version of ourselves, my friends. All of this happened very quickly, and we have no idea how the heck it happened, but it happened because spirit said, you're ready for it. You're ready for it. You're ready for it. I mean, with water flight, heaviness lifts. All right. Burdens are cast away. You just feel weightless. Like it's the kind of situation. It's like, you no longer feel that heaviness, vulnerability. You're opening your heart. You're allowing yourself to be tender, and Rama. I can never say this. I don't know. Wonder voyage, crossing deep waters, journey of the soul, pilgrimage. This is so powerful. This is such a deep healing and such a powerful upswing in power, which is ultimately lifting the heaviness. It's like we're allowing ourselves to open our hearts and be vulnerable. It's like we understand that we have goddess energy within inside us, that we have the ability to give birth to anything that we would ever put our minds to. The only way that we will not succeed if you convince yourself that success is not an option. But this development has happened rapidly, okay? And it's like we're breathing deep and entering into life. Exchange of life bringing energies, all right? It's like all of a sudden, it's like, something's entering into your life where it's like feeling rescued. It's like we've escaped from captivity and restriction. And with guide, a trustworthy ally, a guide, or a mentor, you could thank your spirit guides for this. Okay? You could thank your spirit guides for this. Your spirit guides are ultimately there, and they've been guiding you your way the entire time. You may not have known it, but it's a kind of situation. I mean, it's been happening. And I'm just feeling so much power. Really. The presence. There's a gift. A gift in the nowness. All right. A treasure, a revelation of own value. The present. All right. Dreams, dream teaching, dream messages. All right. I feel as if you can remember your dreams somehow, there have been truths ultimately, being like pointed you in the direction of your dreams. I don't know. If you can remember your dreams, I mean, I could never remember my dreams. It stinks. It totally sucks. But if you can, I definitely recommend keeping a journal by your table, a pen. If you wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, say, oh, I remember that, and then go ahead and jot it down really quick and go back to bed. All right. Beauty, grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. There's just so much beauty coming forward, my friends. There's so much beauty. Falling in love, kissing the divine of another, blah, blah, blah. Kissing the divine in another in yourself, all right? I feel as if when it comes down to it, nonverbal communication, mind reading, like emotional fulfillment is all I'm seeing. The crane bag. The crane bag. Sacred ocean medicine, clutter, declutter, and choice. It's like just the other day. I was lucky enough to have the best help ever come over and help me clear out this treasure trove of shit, and there's still a good way to go, but it's a kind of situation overall. It's all about decluttering the clutter, choosing to do so you can ultimately bring on more healing, right? So know and understand at the bottom, Coral's wisdom, colony, delicacy, fragility, works that are created over great periods of time. Whatever is happening, my friends, it's something that's been in the works for a very long time. And I honestly feel as if it has something to do with, like, coming in from a past life. This is screaming past life energy. All right. This is screaming past life energy. What happened today is only happening once in our lifetime. It's like all of a sudden, all the obstacles that were in our way has ultimately been completely swept away. And now I feel as if, like, we can breathe. It's like heaviness has lifted, and we can ultimately really, really choose to just really quick. I had to move my table over closer to this desk so I can prop this computer up, and the cats are walking around, looking around. Where's the table? It's right over here. I can't. The mentality of an orange cat. Overall, it's just beautiful energy. It really is. It's beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm feeling the need to pull one card from my Power of Surrender deck. And I have not pulled a card from this deck in a very long time. When I started pulling cards, I used to be known as the Surrender Man because I pulled a surrender card every single time. So now that I'm here, all right, I am going to go ahead and pull a surrender card. All right. The question is, I just had it. Where did it go? Let me see what we got here. Surrender. Here we go. Surrender. All right. There's always something we can surrender. Always something we could surrender. There's always something that we can let go for our great blah blah in regards to our greatest good. So let's see what we got here. Surrender. What do we need to surrender? Surrender negative thinking. Tell that to an Aquarius. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations, which is why strawberry quartz is the crystal for this energy, because strawberry quartz holds just amplifying energy of self-love. We live in a world full of hate, my friends. We really do. We live in a crazy world. Everyone can use strawberry quartz, okay? At this point, yeah, I mean, if I had millions of dollars, I'd pull an Oprah. You get a strawberry quartz. You get a strawberry quartz. They get a strawberry quartz. Everyone gets a strawberry quartz. Like, it's the kind of situation we need more of that energy, okay? So if you have the ability to go on Etsy, or if you have a crystal store near you, look up see if they have strawberry quartz. Normally, like, it tumbles like $3 or something like that. I don't think it's really rare. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Let's pull, let's pull one more. Let's look what's underneath. Surrender worry. That goes with negative thinking, right? Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body, focus on the power of your heart, and have faith that spirit is guiding you always. So, on that note, I'm going to bid you all adieu. I hope everyone has a great night. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week, okay? I normally go live midweek come Wednesday, but this is going to be the midweek energy check-in. So this was a very powerful message. All right. I feel March is one heck of a month. That's for sure. I mean, I've been saying it. I just did a monthly reading the other day for March. It's going to be a very powerful month. All right. So ride that wave of power, my friends, because you have it inside you. You've had it in you all along. Okay. I hope everyone has a great day. I will be going live again. I'll be going live again on Sunday. All right, with the reading for next week. So till then, Godspeed and live your best life. Bye.